All
have
right,
to do
cool.
everything.
Oh, got it. All right, yeah, sure. I mean, praying to myself in McDonald's is kind of weird anyway. So.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it, Jesse. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for this time that we have to be together tonight, and we're grateful that we can this time together over with technology over the internet and be able to discuss the fun things of this interesting case, and ask you to please watch over Matt as he's traveling back home from being with the young men in his area, and we can be safe and earnest in and help us that we can learn the things we need to learn from this case and from one another, and we say things in Jesus Christ's name.
Amen.
Amen. Cool. So, does anybody have a spiritual thought? If not, I can do one.
Thanks, Matt. Yay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, does anybody have a spiritual thought they could do? Or if not, I'll do it. Okay, going once, going twice, sold. Can everybody hear me? Okay, cool. So just in religion class. Yeah. In religion class today, my teacher, Brother Barron, was just we were just talking about freak. Look at, I'm trying to remember what we were talking about. I had it in my head. Give me a sec. Oh yeah, we're talking about gossiping, pretty much. And he quoted a bunch of scriptures, but pretty much something that I liked. He talks about how whenever his kids at the dinner table, especially, they'll like start talking about somebody and like, oh, this and that, and he'll tell them, hey, we can't talk about anybody, behind their, you're not supposed to talk negative things about people. And they'll always say, oh, but it's true, and it says like, even still, just you're not supposed to, you shouldn't do that because obvious reasons, right? And it's just not something that you'd want done to you as well. Yeah, I had a lot of cool insights during class that I'm trying to remember. But I really liked that, that we need to remember to. Oh, there was something else I learned. I can't remember who it was, but he says that he doesn't say anything behind it. He only says things. He only has a rule where he only says things in front of people. So he never says anything behind their back at all. I forget. It was somebody. It was some weird guy that one of the apostles quoted, and he's like a Lutheran preacher or something like that. But yeah, that's what his rule is, that he never says anything that he wouldn't say in front of them. I guess, I don't know. That's what I learned from class, just to try to not say anything negative negative about anyone, and especially behind their back. So I like that. So yeah.
Thanks, Jesse. That's a good thought. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse.
You're welcome. Sorry, I need to write some notes down next time, but all right. So, like the first question.
Well, I have something to add on to your spiritual part, Jesse, if you have a moment.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So, my husband and I, we've done a lot of like network marketing things, kind of, and so with that, you get a whole bunch of like focus on personal development. Like that's like their main focus. Like if they were at church, they would say read the scriptures all the time. Like you're like a whole person if you're not reading scriptures at least like 15, 20 minutes a day type thing. So that's how like focused they are on personal development most of the time. And but what they also talk about is building in teams, and if you're ever having a struggle with somebody, kind of like what you're talking about, Jesse, like if you have something negative about something or something's negative going on in your life, you don't broadcast that to people on your team, because then it just spreads, negativity and gossiping and other stuff like that, and it people's believe what they're doing and why they're pushing. And most of the time, I would say that people that think network marketing just want something better for their life, but they don't really know how to get it. And so they just see this opportunity and they try to jump on it. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into this concept. So, but the idea is that you don't broadcast any negative downward, you also broadcast it upward. And so, like if I had like a supporting mentor, I would talk with my mentor about, negative things that's happening in my business or negative frustrations that I have with other people. But I broadcast it upward. And so it'd be the same thing, if we're dealing with people in our everyday life, that, we don't talk about them behind their back. Like we try and keep confidences. Or if somebody's told us something personal, we don't want to go and gossip that to anybody else. We want to keep that confidence. And so it's probably the same situation with Heavenly Father. If he wants us to give negativity, we can broadcast that upward and we can discuss that with him. And if we have any issues with anybody in our lives, we can also broadcast that upward and we can talk with him. Now the other deal is like you can talk with somebody on the same level in network marketing, but like if they were at like a lower level because they were new to the business, you don't tell a brand new person all the horrible things that they might just go through, because they're going to be like, well, forget it, I'm out, I'm done. So same thing with like new people in the church. You don't tell them about, well, congratulations, now you're baptized, now Satan hates you, and now you're going to have a horrible life,
Right.
So.
Oh, that's funny. It's funny you said that because.
Oh, sorry. It's like on the same level, like you can talk with your spouse or, somebody that you've made promises to. Because I wouldn't say necessarily like a girlfriend or boyfriend you could talk to, because then they might be like, well, I'm out. You're just a weird person. You're always negative. But like you've already made promises with like your spouse. You're kind of stuck with them forever, so you can talk with them on the same level about any issues that are going on or any issues that you have with other people. But then it doesn't go past that. So
yeah,
relating what you're talking about to business and to the world, it makes a lot of sense. So thanks, Jesse, for your thought.
Yeah. It's funny you said the network marketing. I'm actually thinking about joining a network marketing company / which just make your own. It's because you kind of like you make your own business. So anyway.
Yeah.
So probably something similar to what you're doing. Anyway.
We could have a long chat outside of this about network marketing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, so the first question is, what value would you place on technologies? And then the second question is pretty much the same thing, but it's like, what's a single number, I guess. But I guess, anyway, first question first. But so, yeah, I wasn't actually 100% sure what to put. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else had trouble knowing what number. I didn't want to just like guess. Yeah.
From what I read in the case study, the acquisition offer, what they valued him at, seemed pretty reasonable. Like it talked about how it would be I don't know, a reasonable offer, and I'm trying to find where it says how much the acquisition people are valuing him at.
Yeah, I know it said, I don't know if what you're talking about. It talked about that it was a base of having a 50 million revenue versus their actual 35 million revenue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. Let's see.
On page 8, I think.
Yeah, I just found it, how the acquirer was willing to pay the multiple on revenues on the run rate. So what they would be worth, I guess, eventually in the next year.
Is that what run rate means? Is what they're estimated to make?
That's a good question.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the run rate
I did
concept
have-
refers to the exploration of financial results into future periods. So kind of like what they project. They're gonna be making.
Okay.
So I guess the closest I would come to valuing them would be whatever the acquirer would value them at.
Like 40 million?
Yeah, like the 50.
Is that what you're saying?
I think.
50 million? Okay. Yeah. All right. Sweet. Anybody else have any kind of
Well, I think valuing them at
ideas?
50 million is a better estimate than the 35 million.
Right.
Well, I thought in the case it said that they were going to base the acquisition on having a $50 million like sales year or income.
Well, that's true. It is based off revenue.
Yeah, because I think you have to apply a multiplier to that still. So it'd be like whatever their multiplier was times that 50 million is how many shares they're going to value it at. Is that, at least that's how I interpreted it. It may not be right. I don't always understand that stuff. But.
No, that makes sense.
So, like, Matt, are you saying like a number of years that the company would like times how much they would make? Is that what you're trying to say, or?
I don't know. So, like in the case it talks,
Multiplier.
a couple cases ago, it talked about a multiplier, and based off the industry, you have a multiplier. And so, for this one, they said there's some businesses that really compared to RightNow, but I didn't see them on that. There's that sheet in the appendix that had multipliers for businesses. There's like 11 of them, and I didn't see one that compared to RightNow, so I just averaged them out. It was like 2.44 was the multiplier, so I just did that times the 50 million. Income that they were given for the year to come up with mine, but that could be way, way off too. I don't know.
That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm seeing the. Oh, says the sound is the acquirer was willing to pay this multiple right now. Yeah, the 50 million. Rather than the 12-month sale of 35 million. Okay, I'm seeing what you guys are all talking about. Oh yeah, and then with a step of at least 2 to 3 times the last round. Huh. I don't know. Cool.
It's not real clear,
Yeah. Anyway, cool. So next question. Please provide a range of values rather than a single number. How did you come to this conclusion? Kind of the same question. Unless anybody had, I don't know. It sounds about the same as what we already said.
Yeah. So you took Matt, you said you took the 35 million, or you took the 50 million, and then you added it towards that multiplier that they had in the exhibits?
Yeah, I just used the multiplier on that $50 million.
And this is the value of the company? So we're looking at?
It said whoever was proposing to acquire RightNow, it was kind of generous and said that they would give them or value their company as if they had $50 million worth of sales compared to their actual sales, which was 35.
Okay.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I wouldn't use that answer for a test, but.
Because there's also a way that we were talking about beforehand of doing like, they say they're going to pay this much for the company, and so because they're going to pay this much for the company, then you can use like a multiplier to figure out what that was pre-valued and like post-valued. There's also that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that stuff that well, so I didn't feel comfortable with it.
Yeah. So which exhibit was that, Matt? Just so I can see.
I'm going off the top of my head, 7. I can.
7?
I'll try to look real quick.
Oh, that's good. Either way. 7.
Sorry, on Exhibit 4, it gives a list of companies, and then at the end, it has their multiplier. The adjusted
Oh, okay.
price times revenue.
Oh, I see.
But you know what? I don't think that's actually right. I'll look at it again. Just right.
I don't even know. Honestly, a lot of this, the words, like all of the terms, are kind of, I don't 100% understand. Like adjusted price revenue. I mean, I kind of have an understanding of it, but in this context, I don't know.
Well, I don't think you're far off, Matt, because like when we talked about last week, how if you're going to go and try and buy a house, the way that you try and figure out what the value of that house is you kind of compare it to other houses in the market. So like houses that are, the same built, like about the same square footage, stuff like that. So if these were similar companies to, right now, then these revenues are growing or whatever at this multiplier. Like it makes sense to probably take an average of these multipliers and then use that.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so.
Okay. So, which one did you use? Like the 2.37?
I just averaged them out because I didn't know.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
That's good. I was like, all right, cool. Well, yeah, that's I don't know why the one that we're supposed to use is like always the one that's not facing straight. It's like,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm always tilting my head.
I like thought about turning my computer for a second, but I was like, yeah, cool. Anyway, that's good. I like the case a lot. I have a lot of things like a note. I was taking notes while I did it, but then the questions have nothing to do with like what I was liking.
Yeah, me too.
I have like a ton of notes, like for real. I'll read them to you if you want. Anyway, next question. If Greg's investors, did anybody want to say anything else, or do we move on?
I'm good.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so if Greg's investors seek a 30 to 50% internal rate of return, what exit value will they expect? Cool. Well, so they're gonna get around. They're saying we were saying how 50 million, is that for like their revenue for the year? Isn't that what we were saying, or no? No, they're making way more than that. No, they aren't. They're making about that, right? 50 million? Yeah. That's a lot. Sorry.
I think their projected revenue for 2003 was 35%, but then the acquirer was going to value them at 50, thinking they would be 50 million, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right, got it. Yeah, that's right. I know what you mean. That's the part I read. Just now, out loud to you guys. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So see how quick I forget things. Anyway, so 30 to 50% of that. Sorry, I didn't actually do this math yet, but.
So I think 3, is that talking about like Series A and Series B investors that invested around 16 million.
Oh, okay.
Is
So
that what?
16.
I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is that what this question's asking?
I honestly don't know because like he had a few investors, right? I'm guessing it's talking about the ending investors, like some of the later ones. Let me check.
If correct investors seek a 30 to 50% internal rate of return, what exit value will they expect? So I guess whenever we came up with our official number of what we valued the company be, then we would just take that and multiply it by 30% or 50%.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's not talking about a rate of return on their initial Series A investment.
You know, I think so. It's the he had a couple investors.
Yeah. Like, didn't he have a couple that invested 16 million? About that?
But he had, it was 116 million because they didn't want to do like a small investment. He just did it a little bit, but they weren't going to do the little bit. Yeah, on page. What page are you on? Page 5.
5. That's where I'm on right now. Yeah.
Kind of in the middle, but right now needed money for growth student in the IPO, and so right before he attempts the IPO, he only needed 5 million, but they were interested in doing that until they gave him 16.4 million. And that's whenever they valued the company at 100 million.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, there it is.
Then he says, "You guys are great, but you're like a really good house in a bad neighborhood." Cool. All right, so are we thinking that it's like 16.4 million then, like times 0.30% or 50, times 50% or 30%? Is that what it would be then?
So it'd be.
Excuse me.
Or what exit value? Is that kind of what? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking it would be, but I'm not sure.
So what we do is we take the 16.4 million and we multiply that times, let's just say 50% just to make it easy, so 0.5, and that gives us like 33, something like that, million.
33 million?
32.8, and then we actually add that back to the 16.4 million because the internal rate of return means that they get that back into return. So it's actually that on top of the 16.4.
Oh, wow.
So they now would value at, or I guess they would get back on their investment 49.2 million.
Hey, sorry, Christina, I'm kind of confused. So you did 50%, so like 0.5 times 16.4.
Yeah,
you got how? What?
So what you're trying to do for internal rate of return is you're trying to figure out how much money, like if you were trying to work your way backwards and you had all these numbers and you wanted to figure out what your internal rate of return was, is you would basically almost divide them into one another. And so since you know your internal rate of return, that's like kind of like your growth rate, or that's what you want to get from your investment. So you would take the 0.5, because that's basically 50%, the 0.5 times what you invested. So they invested 16.4 million. So you have 60. I'm not trying to actually like type it all out in the million numbers. I'm just doing 16.4. But it's 16.4 times 0.5. 16.4 times 0.5.
Yeah, 8.2.
Okay, yeah, 8.2.
Because I heard you saying like 40 million, and I was like confused.
Yeah. I don't know if I didn't put the 0.5. My math was wrong.
Okay. I
2.4.
was like, how do you?
But you did.
Yeah. Okay.
So whenever you do your correct math, you actually add that number back to your original investment. Because
Yeah.
the 8.2 is what you've grown, like what you've gotten from your investment, and then you add that back to your original
Yeah.
amount, and that's your total value.
Okay.
So they would
Okay.
now value it at like 24.6.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Sweet. So that's about what the answer would be then.
Or
So-
maybe that's what he would have to pay them back would be
Yeah, the exit
24.6
value
million.
they will expect. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So if they're exiting out of the situation and they want to have a 50% rate of return, then he needs to exit in a way that they get more than $24.6 million, because I think that's what he has to pay them back. So if he doesn't get anything from all of his efforts and he just pays off the quote unquote debt, then whoever acquires him needs to acquire him for more than $24.6 million.
Right. So like pretty much he's like that's what they're gonna expect.
Probably at a minimum.
Investors they're gonna expect about that much. Okay. That I could live with like $32 million. All right, cool. So anybody else want to add to that? What?
Sorry, my math.
Any thoughts? Oh, it's good. Everything else was perfect, like made sense. But then I was like, wait, how does 16 times 0.5 get me 40?
That's a much bigger rate of return. That's the kind of rate of return I'd really like on my investments.
Yeah. Which is funny because it ended up being about, yeah, anyway, whatever. Cool. So provide your analysis of each of the options. Greg is considering, based on your analysis, what should Greg do? Consider Greg's goals of everyone else who was involved in this venture. Okay, so that I can actually have a clue what I'm talking about a little bit. So like one of his goals, I know he set a goal to add 2,000 high-paying tech jobs to the community of Bozeman, Montana. Right, Bozeman, Montana, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's something I thought was pretty cool. So if he's trying to meet that goal, something he should do is, I mean, honestly, I just think he should just take that investment. Because like he has the option of selling the company, right? And he has the option of just keep going, and like they actually were saying how it seemed like there's a lot of promise for the company, right? I don't know. I think he should just keep going with it, in my opinion, and get more investments. So that's what my thought. Yeah. Anybody else have something to say? That's my question. I can read it again if someone wants to do.
No, I thought he should keep it to. Go ahead, Christina. Sorry.
No, I just had a question of, didn't he end up having like 80 employees at the
Thought
time?
so.
Yeah, about 80. Yeah.
Okay.
Which to get the 2,000 jobs, which he didn't exactly hit that yet, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, that's what I was thinking is, did he basically want to add 2,000 more people to the town, or did he want to employ the people in the town? Because he also said that he was using college students to,
Sales.
yeah.
Sales calls, yeah.
So I don't know if, is he trying to acquire, 2,000 people or so from other locations? Because he keeps bringing people back to Bozeman. But I don't know if he's necessarily using people in Bozeman.
Right, that's true. I guess if they come there, they're part of the town, though, so that's good. It's kind of adding to the economy of the place.
So if he accepts the acquisition offer, like in the case that he says, accept the acquisition and grow within a larger organization, does that mean I guess that phrase is kind of confusing me. Like, would he stay with the company and have it keep growing, or?
That's a good point. I see what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know what. I think that part kind of confuses me.
I guess actually, yeah. I guess just based off our last case study, like just because you sell a company doesn't mean you can't still maintain a part of it, like stay part of the company. You just somebody's more in charge than you are.
Yeah, because like it seems like they would be able to really grow a lot more and rapidly and really do a lot if they accepted the acquisition.
Oh yeah, because they talked about.
Would they keep it in Bozeman? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say because I remember one of the companies that was gonna buy them was saying how they're impressed with them and they wanted the two companies to kind of go together, join together, and so he wanted to buy them out, but also like obviously like work together, and so and it says like within a larger organization, and that's what they were. And so yeah.
So, Study Buddy Google says that a business acquisition is the process of acquiring a company to build on strengths or weaknesses of the acquiring company. So a merger is similar to an acquisition, but refers more strictly to the combining of all the interests of both companies into a strong single company. So
cool.
It might have been similar to a merger if he was thinking he was going to be staying and working with the company versus complete like acquiring of all their assets. So
yeah, it says that like I think it was Siebel was the company that I was trying to talk about. It said they had 40 times of RightNow's revenue, 40 times their revenue, and so they noticed that they were taking starting to take kind of become a competitor for them. So that's why they decided to reach out to them and say, hey, stop taking all our money. We'll work together. Kind of thing. I don't know.
So then it may have turned in more to a merger versus like.
Yeah. If it was more of a merger, that might, I don't know. They might be able to keep growing fast and creating jobs and.
Yeah, it says it might take years or pessimistically decades for RightNow to achieve the kind of scale its competitors had. So
I get. I was kind of questioning.
Yeah. So I never actually am like 100% like decided to do these discussions. So I'm always like changing my mind.
I know there's always such good points that are brought up that it's like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point of these group meetings, is to see something from a different perspective and discuss it.
Okay. Cool. I
guess it might depend on if we feel like the company can meet that. I mean, if it is going to take that, also doing the same thing. Like, am I willing to go through all the work to possibly build? Because I mean, they were growing like super fast before they attempted the IPO. So if we kind of feel like the value of the company is there, and they're actually going to grow pretty fast, you know, if it's going to take 2 years, then we would just wait it out because we have a better situation, and if we're a better company than our competitors, then we could actually wait it out. But if we really feel like they could have things really stable and they already have like a name in the market, because that's kind of one of the tricky things is actually getting your name out there. So if they already have like, a name, like a household name, kind of like Nike, like we wear sneakers, or some people call them Nikes, but not really Nike.
Right, and then
Like Walmart brand shoes, whatever they call them, you know.
Yeah.
So if they already have like the household name, it's sometimes really hard to take over the household name, and you might as well just join up and work together and share in the profits.
Yeah. Might be more benefits that way.
And quicker. I guess it just depends on how long he wants to work for this.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like he's afraid of ever like selling the company, because he's already done that with another one.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like the way they worded it about pessimistically that it'd take decades for them to get that big. Like, I think he's almost kind of, and also how he's the offer. Seems like he sounded like he really wanted to take that offer.
He wanted to have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
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 I was
Yeah,
thinking he was this like a follow-up case to tell us what he did.
I know,
He
right?
said he changed his mind, right? I want to know what happened.
You never know. Just kidding.
I know it's kind of nice to get these follow-up cases sometimes to see what they do.
I know.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool how he did the he didn't even build a product at all and just started cold calling everybody. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, that's not the question, but
Well, it looks like RightNow is still around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like RightNow Technology. I asked my study buddy, and it has the founder, Greg Giaforte, in Bozeman, Montana, in 1997. But it says Oracle RightNow is U.S. customer relations management software for enterprise organizations. So Oracle may have purchased RightNow, but because they called it an acquisition, they may have kept both names.
right.
So, like sometimes I know, for example, when my dad was working in a company called Primerica, they went through a merger thing with Travelers. And so what they did is they kept the Travelers name, but then they put they kept the Primerica name, but then on their official logo, they added the Travelers umbrella. And so they kept the symbol for Travelers, but then they kept the name for Primerica. And so I don't know if they did a similar thing here, is where he accepted their I don't know, their
Money.
acquisition terms.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's nice to know. But it wasn't. Was it one of the ones that? Because I mean, I know I saw Cyble. Is that one of? Did they have that company listed as
No,
one of the people that wanted to buy from them?
Are you talking about like RightNow?
In the case, did they have yeah, like did they have that company that bought them that you looked up? Did they have that in the case or no?
I just looked up RightNow Technologies just to see
Yeah.
if they were still around, and it's now called Oracle RightNow.
Okay.
And Oracle was one of the companies that was listed as one of their competitors.
Oh yeah, it is in the case. Cool. Yeah. It does say Oracle because I just Control find found it. Okay.
Page 6.
Yeah, page 6. All right.
Yeah.
Should we do a summary then?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so pretty much what we pretty much found out was that the value placed on RightNow technologies would be about 50 million times 2.5, right? Is that what you said? So like whatever that is.
Make my guess.
Yeah. So like 120 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. And then also for the next question, we said like where it says the second question is the same thing. All right, cool. So if Greg's investors seek a 30 to 50%, so that one was gonna be so 50% of 16.4. That's 8.2, and then add that to 16.4 is
Let's say 25 million.
25 million. Yeah,
Round up.
that's about how much their investors would have ended up getting from them. And then our, we didn't really come to a consensus on who was, or on what was the best decision, even though we kind of figured it out with Google. Although I guess you never know if it's 100% best decision for them, but they're still around. So, so yeah, them selling the company and that's what, and then also still working with it, kind of working together with the company that bought them. This is kind of what they did. And honestly, that did sound really good. And you know, with the case analysis, it asked about hints and stuff. I think that was definitely a hint that they had. That, you know, with all the, you know, the early Christmas and all those things, it sounded like that was what they were leaning towards anyway. Although I don't know. Yeah, that's about. Is that about what we got for the summary? Anyone want to add something?
I don't.
I think that's good.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks, Jesse.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys' time.